Descendants of slaves. We are the descendants of slaves, and those Osu people are too. And they won't let them. It sounds a lot like they treat us like we can treat it a lot like we can treat it a lot like, we can treat it a lot like how white people treat us. That's how the Osu are getting treated over there. And let me tell you something. I want to tell you something. I want to be very clear on this. And I want to be very clear. I'm not being discriminated against anybody. Everybody deserves to be whoever they want to be. Whoever you want to be in life, you deserve to be. But you don't get to represent me and be that. You don't get to be two people. You don't get to clown me. So if this is who you are, Cynthia Erivo, you don't get to play Harriet Tubman. This is your Nigerian flag. I understand it and I respect you. You go ahead. But you don't get to be everything. You say I'm Nigerian, baby girl, go be that. But I need the person who's going to play Harriet to understand the pain. Our people haven't even got to pay Harriet. That is she is ours. Can we have anything? No. I'm not saying you can't do that, but why can't you listen? I'm sure in Nigeria, there are powerful characters. Powerful people who fought colonialism and did all kinds of other things. I'm just saying that, like, given that you were in London and when you were there, maybe you're not part of our tribe. Now, that's not anything against you. By all speed, do your thing. But I think there's a thing that people talk about all the time, talks about brain drain coming from Nigeria and other countries because the people who are the brightest and most talented don't stay and fight. Maybe it's time to stay and fight. Maybe that's what you do, because we fought for a lot of stuff and we're not getting anything. And see, if you were a descendant of a slave owner and you want to come here and play a slave, that's going to be another problem for you. You can't, my tribe is my tribe, but I need to see that you Osu. Before we start having a conversation about blackness and burden and oppression, are you Osu? I need to know. Are you a member of a slave-owning Nigerian group coming over here trying to play a slave on the come up? These are things that we need to know. Where's the paperwork? I'm just asking the questions. Because I know that my people are right down here on this bottom right here, and I know that that's when the coroner, not the coroner, you already dead, Lord. When you in the emergency room and this you flatlining, that's my people right there. That bottom line, that's my people. Let me bring this up. So that's my people right there. So I gotta protect that burgundy line right there, this flat line. That's what I gotta protect. So I don't know what you're doing, and I don't know how you're doing it, but that's your business. But that's not my business. I'm trying to protect this group. And then even when you grow to how they're trying to make amends in Nigeria, you get to this line right here. They propose, for example, that Ohu, I see it pronounced Ohu, I don't know, but maybe I'll go over there and talk to y'all. That Ohu pay a token sum to the families that bought their ancestors to symbolically buy back their freedom. There is a grim precedent for such a payment. In 1833, when slavery was abolished in the Crown, when slavery was abolished in the British colonies, the Crown paid the equivalent of more than 16 billion pounds to former slave holders as reparation for their lost property. I'll tell you where else it came from. Right here. Right here. This is New York Times. Slave owners got their reparations. So they're trying to get so the Igbo are trying to get reparations, are saying, well, we have to have money exchange. You have to pay us back as part of our culture. What kind of raggedy culture you got? But it already happened to ADOS. All of this sounds familiar, but you sound like white slave owners. You don't sound like black solidarity people. You sound like white slave owners. So tell me again in Cobra how it makes sense. How does it make sense for somebody who is a descendant of somebody who sold slaves to come here and get reparations with me? Make it make sense in Cobra. You say we all oppressed the same in Cobra. Make it make sense. I'm just trying to make it. I don't understand it. I want somebody to make it make sense for me. To come from a caste is the opposite of solidarity. You can't tell me you come from top caste and then come in here and want to have solidarity with me. Now, I'm not saying we can't build solidarity. We can build some kind of solidarity out of shared beliefs and ideology and what we want to see. But you're not my tribe. Everybody else understands that. Those Igbo people and those also, everybody understands who their tribe is. And we're having a hard time. Now, I'm not trying to hold you accountable. I understand I had a hard time too. I haven't always been here, but I've been accountable for my mistakes. I understand, and I evolved out of that. You got to evolve too. You got to move out of that too. We can't be here like this. Not understand that we're in this together and we have no friends. We have no natural allies. And if we do, we have to build it. If you want to build it with us, whoever, we have to intentionally build it. You know, I talked about Lovey a long time ago. You know, Awesomely Lovey or whatever. She was coming here, and the reason I talked about it was initially I thought she was ADOS. I was cool with Lovey. I was like, oh, Lovey, that sounds like maybe that's somebody that's named Lavisha. And like that's a homegirl, and she used a cartoon instead of her real face, and I thought she was one of us. I thought she was ADOS, and then I find out she wasn't, and then I see something on her Twitter talking about she had a maid and a driver, and I realized you wasn't one of us, and then I realized you played us, and I realized you cloaked yourself in us to get to the top of here and be a satirist or weird wizard, humor lady, or whatever you do. I don't know. I don't care. The point is. Family, once you kind of realize who your tribe is and this is your group, you kind of come outside of yourself. I'm not saying we can't have allies. We have Ghanaian Goddess. Shout out to you. We have other people. But I'm saying you have to understand, first of all, before you can have allies, you have to understand this is my tribe. Anybody who had a maiden driver in this country, we were the maiden driver. My mother was a maid. We have a lot of drivers. We were the maiden drivers. I don't have a natural allyship with you. What you doing? But why you didn't tell me who you was and where you came from? Why you came in here and just made up something, put a cartoon of yourself, threw it up and put it up like that, and you said all this negative stuff about us all the time? Who you think you playing? You played us. What I'm telling everybody, though, is that those days are over. Those days are coming over here and cutting your hair real short. If you're a man, I see that's what y'all do, too. You cut your hair real short, especially some of you have wavy hair. You cut it off. Hey, all those days of playing ADOS are over. And that's what we need to tell everybody. All those days of you making us feel the fool and play the fool, we're done with that. We got to have some real terms of agreement. We got to have some real terms of allyship. That's what we're doing. And that's why I started out with Susan Rice and her going back and forth with the man. The man told the truth. We are a contagion of wealth. And what have you, Susan, done to stop that? It's not a racist thing to tell the truth about what we are and what we become. Who's going to help us out of this hole? That's my first question in terms of what you are in terms of allyship. Who is going to help us outside of this hole? How are you going to help dig me out? If you ain't got a shovel, I got no use for you. And if you are proud, if you go back to your home and you treat Osu and Ohu the same way we get treated, I have no use for you either. There are a lot of different ways to be a slave master, and you don't talk about it being just based off what your melanin is. Obviously, you didn't have any side there. Obviously, Pan-Africanism didn't mean nothing. There was no Pan-Africanism when you enslaved another African as your own or sold them or nothing. Pan-Africanism meant nothing to you. It was not even a thing then. And we are done as a group. What I'm telling you is that ADOS is done being played. We can have solidarity with anybody, but just because we have solidarity with you doesn't mean you're a part of our tribe. And we are done with that, and I'm telling you that today. I don't think ADOS understand how wonderful we are. Right? Because I make fun of her calling me blue vein. But understand that Wesley Snipes is a sex symbol here. Understand that Angela Bassett is a sex symbol here. Understand that we it's like Nina Simone said, we go all the way from the lightest of the light skins to the darkest of the dark skin, and we love it, and we love all of ourselves. We don't get into this thing Like we had our moment with that. Like we've done the colorism stuff. We've done the whole if you Hattie McDaniel, you could only play a maid, and it had to be Lena Horne. Like we've kind of come outside of that now, and we've come all the way forward into, like, I'm not saying colorism is still a thing in America, but I'm saying like we're pushing forward, we're pushing the bounds to where we understand we're everything, we're yellow, we're brown, we're black, we're ADOS, and we love all of us. That's the direction in which we're pulling, and we're pushing back against the paper bag nonsense and all that nonsense that came with it. We're pushing back against, like, what, you have to be a certain complexion to get into a HBCU? We are pushing so hard in the right direction. And my thing is, I wonder if some of you other folks in these other countries are pushing in the opposite direction. We're pushing forth where all of our black is beautiful, from light to the blackest of the black. All of it's beautiful. All of it's sexy. That's where we're pushing in the direction toward. We're not perfect yet, but we're getting there. And like, you can't call us on that, especially in the belly of the beast in a majority white country where, like, slave masters rape slave women. We're pushing back though. We're doing everything we can. If you haven't done that in a majority black country, you have no right to talk to us and call upon us and say the kind of things that you're saying about us. We are pushing, and we're understanding the beauty of our particular brown, yellow to black rainbow. That's what we're doing, and we're gonna do this together. Y'all can try to separate us all you want, but we know we're ADOS, and we're in this together. I'm gonna let you, like, I really think we all need to come to terms with, like, how beautiful we are as a rainbow of ADOS people, and like how what was intended and how what was intended for a curse for us has become beautiful and could be very empowering if we walked into it. You know, if we walked into it.
I was gonna say, you see what the ADOS sisters are doing? We're embracing our natural hair.
Yeah.
And I love that.
And it's because it's more beautiful. Let me just say this. I don't have any criticism of an ADOS woman who is not wearing natural hair. Let me just say that too. I want to put that out there. I know you're not, but I just want to make sure everybody understands. I just want to make sure you understand. Whether you wear your natural hair, which I think is beautiful, whether you wear synthetic hair, whether you straighten your hair, you are beautiful. Like, understand that. I just want everybody to know that and understand that there are no criticisms here, especially in a country where you get discriminated against too. If you wear your ADOS hair in your workplace, they will discriminate against you too. They will discriminate against you. They will say, "Oh, well, that's not for the workplace." But that's a whole other conversation. I don't think we understand, like, as ADOS men and women. I don't care whether your hair is natural or not. I don't care whether it's synthetic. I don't care what you got on. I don't care whether it's trash. I don't know whether you're a man, whether you got locks, whether you got waves in your hair, whether you got the Caesar. I don't care. You're beautiful. And if ain't nobody told you today, let me tell you, you are a beautiful ADOS person. I don't care which kind of hairstyle you decide to rock. Let me just tell you that. People try to separate us based on, not this caller. This caller was cool. This caller didn't try to separate us based on nothing. This caller was being real cool. You know, she was cool. She wasn't trying to do that. But I want to make sure that you understand that. Just from your own personal perspective, I want to make sure that you understand regardless of what you rocking today, it don't really matter. I don't care what you rocking, cornrows, Caesar, synthetic hair, track, natural, you're beautiful, way God intended you, whatever. Don't let nobody make you feel worse. Don't let nobody make you feel worse, and don't let nobody divide us. Well, it's them over there. Well, see, it's the ones over there. Well, see, it's the ones with the hair. And see, no. We all in this game together. Sorry, nice try. Next time.